Sometimes
Hold
it's
on a
watching
minute.
Doctor
Hold on
Who
a minute.
before.
The guest has just turned up in my fucking house.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Doc Who Pod. I'm Josh, and with me as always is my co-host JP. Hello, Jack. How are
Hello
you?
there. I'm all good, thank you. I'm all good. I'm actually here. I'm here. I'm live. Unlike our third, as we're calling him a guest for this exact reason, our third guest isn't here.
He's not. He's stuck at work or whatever excuse he gave, but this is why he's not a co-host.
Now, Brad sends his apologies for this week. He couldn't make it. Something to do with some kind of work thing. I'll say. Well, I nearly paid attention. Like 50-50. It was nearly there.
It doesn't matter anyway. No one's going to listen to this episode because it's the shittest episode of Doctor Who in the world.
Ooh, controversial already. I like it.
Straight off the bat. What are your overall thoughts for the episode, JP?
You know what? I didn't mind it. I wouldn't say
Oh,
I can't.
fuck off.
I can't lie and say it was the best single episode of Doctor Who. Can't believe it, etc., etc. Because in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't the best episode in the world. But I would say it was an interesting episode, and it was a lot better than the episode before with the old
Oh, get
concrete
the
glory hole.
get out. How can you? I'm angry. Like, I'm glad Brad's not here because it was going to piss me off him trying to defend this. I am fuming that you've even said that. Like,
I
how
liked
can
it.
you? What is so bad? It's unbelievable.
All right. Well, should we get this? Should we get this out here now? Why didn't you? Why don't you like this episode?
Before we do that, let's jump straight in, even though we're missing the news anchor. Let's jump straight into Who News. Yeah. Oh, actually, before we even jump into that,
We're all
I
over
just
the
want
show.
to say a big thank you to everybody that listens to us because Satan Pit and Impossible Planet only been out for less than 2 weeks at time of recording. Is our second most listened to episode of all time.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's a reflection on how good the episode is, but just shows that we're still gaining listeners as the series goes on. You guys are still tuning in. You guys are still listening. Every week we're increasing on episodes, but this one just for some reason just shot straight up to the top. It is literally second to our first episode, Rose. So yeah, just completely
Wow,
flew to the
that's
top.
incredible. I mean, to be honest, it always helps us a great episode anyway. But guys, now thank you so much for all the support, and yeah, we'll keep them coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially bearing in mind we do fuck all on the socials at the minute, and we're not really promoting this very hard. It is just 3/2 blokes chatting about a show that they quite like, and yeah, we're like I am just taken aback by your engagement and your comments and everything. So thank you very much, guys. Just wanted to get that out of the way up top. But ready for the news, JP?
Let's go for the news.
The Whoniverse has dropped. I don't know if you've seen anything about this.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go straight out and say I saw nothing this week.
So yeah, basically a new section on BBC iPlayer called the Whoniverse has dropped. It's got all of Classic Who, except for the first 4 episodes, are now on there. All of Sarah Jane, all of Torchwood, all of like the K9 spin-offs from the 80s. Basically everything about Who is on there, which is very cool, including this new thing called Tales of the TARDIS. Have you seen this, JP?
No, what's that about?
So I think Brad mentioned it last week, but the rumor is that they're going to get the old doctors and the old companions back, and they're going to sort of have new adventures, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And so I saw it on iPlayer when I went to watch this episode, and it was like they're 90 minutes long, or they're like 2 hours long, and I'm like, right, what? Something's up here. This can't be right. Anyway, opened it up, and it starts off in like you should watch it. It's quite funny, but it starts off in what is someone's living room that they've
Mhm.
littered to make it look like a TARDIS, and they've
Right.
dragged like some of the old companions and like two of the old doctors in, done nothing but put them in an outfit that's vaguely similar to what they used to wear as the doctor. And
Oh
rather
no.
than it being a story, it's like they're fumbling around this living room TARDIS thing and they go, why is my face like this? And why does the TARDIS look like this? And why am I old and fat now? And I remember that once upon a time this happened. And then it just
Oh no.
fades into the classic Who story, and then it's just 90 minutes of the classic Who story. Like, it's
Oh no.
so, for me, it's so disappointing. Like, I like the idea of watching these old doctors or these old actors be the Doctor again. That's quite good.
Mhm.
And every character is very good. Like they're very happy to be playing their roles again. But from the 5 minutes I saw, no, none of these people can act. And it's like there's a reason they haven't had careers post Doctor Who. And literally, like,
Oh,
I'm not even joking. The set of the TARDIS is smaller than my studio, and it is just literally it's like whatever prop they've had left over, they've chucked it in there. It's
yeah.
ridiculous. That's the whole thing is like they set it up so they're around the campfire, and the fire is just an old TARDIS set. They're like a
Ooh.
small, like a model of the TARDIS set. It's supposed to look like a fire. It's absolutely ridiculous. I was disappointed by it, but like I said, it's nice seeing these old actors come back as their old characters. But yeah, give it a watch if
Yeah.
you fancy. But it is, yeah, it's very bizarre. I don't know why why they've done it. To be honest with you.
Well, I suppose it's the nostalgia thing, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day, everybody knew that they were, kind of bringing the old episodes back on. Well, it's not on BBC iPlayer; it's on Disney Plus now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think at the minute it's on iPlayer, and all Classic Who's going to be on iPlayer, and then I think the new series is going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, so I suppose that people, because you're hitting almost a different target audience, aren't you? Really,
oh yeah, okay, I guess so. So try and get some of the OG fans back on
the
board.
OG fans back, yeah, get them back because why wouldn't you? At the end of the day, if you've got, if you've got this absolute behemoth of Disney Plus that pretty much caters to everyone, I can't think of one genre that I've not seen on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Um, you've got people that maybe watched Doctor Who back when it was first, kind of first there, like the old Who series, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that episode. I want to go watch that again." So I suppose it kind of maybe caters to those people, which I think is a good idea. I do think that's a good idea. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many kind of episodes that sticks around for and everything. But yeah,
I
no,
think
worth a
they've,
watch.
yeah, well, I would say not worth a watch. I think they've done like
No,
six specials and watch the first 5 minutes of it, have fun with like the old doctors in their roles, but and then unless
yeah,
you're a fan of the classic, like it's gonna lose you. But
yeah.
there's some more important news that's been released this week. And I
Oh,
haven't seen it announced anywhere. It's gone sort of under the radar, but they're making
mhm.
a one-off special Doctor Who episode in collaboration, much like they did with Big Brother and The Weakest Link last series. They're
Mhm.
collaborating with a show and doing a special episode coming out soon. Any guesses as to what it might be, Jack?
Love Island.
No, think more exciting.
Well, no, the only reason I said Love Island is that is our generation's Big Brother, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, I know
Okay,
Big Brother's still around, but like, yeah.
okay.
Um,
It's
okay,
not.
more
It's not a
exciting.
reality show.
Not a
They've done
reality
that. They
show.
did that last series, so they've gone a little bit different. Very exciting. Very orange.
Very orange.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let me put you out of your misery. Are you ready? Are you
Go
sitting
on,
down? Because this is genuinely quite
go
exciting.
on. Yeah, go on.
Bargain hunt.
Bargain hunt. Really?
Bargain hunt. They're doing a Doctor Who special bargain hunt episode. Yeah.
I, I mean, I'd love to know how to. I mean, what's going to happen? The Doctor Who. Oh, maybe well, no, I'm thinking of storage hunters. That's what I'm thinking of.
But
I was
I
about to say
think
maybe the Doctor loses his TARDIS in one of those storage bins that gets opened, but no, that's storage hunters, isn't it?
bargain hunt is them going round to like car boot sales, right? And trying to find something cheaper, then you sell it on for a little that
Yeah,
like
yeah, and then you try and like spruce it up and sell it on for a bit more. Yeah,
yeah, so I I don't know what to do with this information, but this is happening.
I mean, yeah, it's a different one, I guess. I wouldn't have guessed that in a million years. I'm so glad you actually put me out like misery for that one, but that is a bit of a different one, isn't it?
It sort of comes back to though, like, who is this for? Do you know what I mean? Like, Doctor Who is a
Yeah,
kids show at its heart. Who the fuck is like? It's insane, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it is a bit of a rare one. I mean, I can't remember the last time I sat down and watched Bargain Hunt,
Have
but
you ever?
yeah, I used to watch it all the time. When I used to work behind a bar, because I used to sleep during the days and then work at night. And of course, when you're awake during the day, the only thing else daytime TV. Bargain Hunt, perfect.
Fucking.
and the Jeremy Kyle show. But God, imagine that. Oh, that's ITV though, isn't it?
And it's cancelled.
Yeah, I know it's cancelled now, but I was about to say, imagine if they bought it back for a one, they could just get the Doctor and all these old companions and get them to thrash it out on the two
Oh,
soldiers.
I would bloody love that. That would be quite a good idea, to be fair.
They could just they could get Rose and Mickey back on there, and they could just like talk about all the, all the relationship problems they've got.
Rose, Mickey, and Trish Delaney.
Yeah. I can't pay to see that. That'd be brilliant. Oh,
um,
now I really want to watch that.
there would be something, to be fair. Yeah, like you could have Sarah Jane and Rose on there as well. Let them air their dirty laundry. We sort of got a bit of that this season, but
I could have a go at that robot dog.
you could have, that sounds weird out of context.
Yeah, I could have. Yeah, I promise I'm not mental.
I could have a go at that robot dog.
Yeah,
Jesus,
the
good thing
guy
it's
just
not a
walking past
rabbit.
my open window. Yeah, I was gonna say the guy just walking past my open window was just like, "What the hell, man?" Like,
Anyway, unless you've got anything else to add, I think that concludes Who News.
yeah, roll the newscaster thing.
So we are in to the penultimate episode of season 2. The culmination of 2 years is about to peak, and we're treated with this episode to tease us into the finale. And it is the worst episode of Doctor Who. Fact.
Oh, you lie! We literally watched one the week before that was worse than that.
It's so much better than this episode for so many reasons. Let me tell you the reason I prefer the previous episode over this, and it's very, very straightforward. The previous episode is not a good episode of Doctor Who, but it's a lovely place to be. You'll agree, all the characters are nice, it's a bit of fun, the music is good, it's colourful, the editing is quite hectic. It's just a nice place to be, right? It's a nice vibe of an episode, last episode. You'll give it that at least, right?
Yeah, I like the fact that they were all friends. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Everybody in this episode is so fucking miserable. It's unbelievable.
Well, yeah, people are disappearing off the street. You wouldn't expect like a fucking tea party. Oh, Mrs. Miggins has gone. Let's throw a fucking, some kind of shindig or something like that.
It's just misery. But you say that when they all come back at the end, it's not some heartwarming, everybody's hugging, everybody's, like everybody lives that we got in the last series. The kids just immediately go back into the yard and start playing football again as if they weren't gone for more than 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, you go, priorities.
No, it's absolute wank. But before we get into it, I would just like to point out the fact that this episode aired in 2006 and is set in 2012. We're now further away from it than we were when the episode aired.
That's not a thought I needed to hear today, but thank you very much for that.
Like, we're almost twice as far away from it. We're 11 years. Fuck me, are we 11 years out from the Olympics?
Yeah, I suppose we've had 2 Olympics. Were we do a third one? Yeah. 2020 was the last one, wasn't it? Because it was supposed to be in Tokyo.
Yes, yeah. So 2012.
They had COVID and everything like that, yeah.
Then 60, yeah. Mate, 11 years. That genuinely feels like yesterday when we had James Bond jumping out of the bloody plane with the Queen and stuff. Like, how the fuck was that 11 years ago?
I forgot that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just very upset that Papua New Guinea didn't do well in the shot put.
Well, I actually Googled that. They did fucking terribly in the shot. Okay, so this is my other big thing with this episode, right?
Oh, here we go.
Why set it in 2012?
Yeah, it's a strange one, to be honest. They could have picked anything, really.
Like,
anything with a big crowd or something like that. I mean, they literally did it. Oh, no, actually, I think I know why they didn't do it, because like, if you think of a big crowd in London, right?
Yeah.
Well, you've got the Queen's Jubilee, which they did for the Idiot's Lantern.
Yeah.
And then you got the Olympics.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to have a big crowd, right? So there's the bit where she gets rid of the stadium and then she's like, not enough. Just make that like a football game that's on the TV at the minute. And then I was thinking, okay, but it needs the heat. Set it on bonfire night. Like, why do you have to set it in 2012? Yeah, it's so that you could throw it on the bonfire. That would be how it ends. He throws it on, like,
Oh, so he just throws it on a bonfire?
Yeah, that's... But
it's not very climactic, though, is it?
Yeah, but neither is David Tennant running up some red stairs that's clearly in a fucking studio, putting it on this fucking fire pit that's smaller than a bonfire. Like, you said it in 2012, but they've not done anything with it. Like, okay, there's the Olympics, but it's all set. Again, this is another thing. It's just set on a street. Like, it doesn't feel very big. Even the bit with the stadium, it doesn't feel real. Like, it's just clearly in a set. Like, it feels very small. You don't see anything like a modern phone or a modern TV or a modern, like, they're not imaginative with it at all. It should just be set in the present day. She gets rid of a football stadium and then he throws it on a bonfire and it turns out it's bonfire night. Like, why set it in 2012? What a waste.
Yeah, I guess they tried to show near future though, because in fact that's something I'd probably have to Google is when do we actually get confirmed that we had the Olympics? I'm assuming it would have been around that
It
time.
was 2005, 2006. Yeah, that's why they
Yeah,
did
so
it.
it's almost like a hype video, isn't it? Really, it's a hype video for the Olympics.
But it doesn't hype it up at all. Like,
I think it
we
does.
see one street with about 10 people on it as the Olympic torch runs past, and then we see a cheap CGI stadium that's nothing. It's just a void of nothingness. And also,
Oh,
okay. We're jumping to the end here a little bit.
no, straight to
The
the end. Yeah.
the runner just collapses, right? And I think they say on the radio he got struck by lightning.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, there was a flash of lightning earlier that looked like it struck the runner, and now he's fallen." We don't see that. Is that what Is that what Rose throwing the pod in? Which, by the way, do you remember those little metal grey things that you would throw up and they would go together and they
Oh,
go?
the little the metallic things. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just that for a start,
it
just
pretty much
painted
is. Yeah,
green.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And I'll give you that. Yeah.
but they're like, he's struck by lightning, so he's collapsed. We didn't see that. Presumably, they were going to CGI it in, and they just didn't. And then the doctor just swoops in, picks up the torch. In real life, if a man comes and picks up, how many steps do you think he gets before he gets shot?
Oh yeah, not the yeah. I did. That was on one of my notes in the fact that they were surprisingly nice to a man that had just jumped the barriers and was running. I mean, yeah, I'd like to think the world was a nicer place back in 2012, but it still wasn't great. I'm not sure you'd get away with
Like, this should have been the Doctor's regeneration story. Like, he should have just been
that.
instantly
Took one through
assassinated
the
there and then.
took one through the chest from London police. You know, yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Just utter nonsense of an ending. And it angers me so much. Where does the Doctor come back? Why doesn't he come back in the TARDIS? Why is he here to pick up the torch?
Well, no, because he disappeared with the TARDIS, though, didn't he?
Yeah, so why isn't he back in the TARDIS where it was? Why did he not think, oh, I better go and make sure Rose is all right? Why did he go, no, I'm going to run the Olympic torch, not be arrested, manage to somehow get into the stadium as well and up the stairs and light it? Like, how long do you reckon he was running as well?
Yeah, but why wouldn't you though? Why not?
Because it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, you are talking about an episode which had a child drawing things that caused them to disappear but appear on a bit of paper, all
But
because
still
of
be
something
sentient
that
on that piece of paper?
wanted to be loved. Like, I just, yeah, I don't know. It's just Doctor Who, isn't it? Really, that's the whole fun of Doctor Who.
It's not the whole fun of Doctor Who. Right, okay. Before we get carried away, let's structure this episode into a compliment sandwich. So I've slated on it a little bit. Jack, you now tell us what you think were the redeeming features, and then we just fucking rip it to shreds again.
You really don't like this episode, do you?
It's the worst episode of Doctor Who.
No,
It
not
doesn't,
at all. Not at all.
by a long way. It doesn't get worse than this.
Okay, so the good parts that I liked about this episode. So, how creepy is it? You can't deny it's not creepy.
It's
When
not
she's at the
creepy.
window with the Kookaburra song, and it generally reminded me of, Bates Motel with Psycho, when like the
Oh,
mum's
yeah.
the
Yeah,
dead
yeah.
mum's in the window and all that. It genuinely reminded me of that. I was like, that's kind of creepy. Like,
I think you're confusing creepy with misery. Like, there's nothing
no,
creepy about it. Everyone's just miserable. There's that miserable old fucking lady that's just going around saying, oh no, get the boys.
I love
Was
You
it
leave Doris
Jackson?
alone. You leave
Fuck
Doris alone.
Doris. She's
No, 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 no.
useless.
No, she was brilliant because she is the most ballsiest character on Doctor Who,
What do you mean?
right? Everybody knows when someone asks, "Are you all right?" You go, "Yeah, mate." And you? What's Doris do? She goes, "No, I'm not all right." And it's like, wow, that's just
But that's my point. That's like the first line of the episode, or the first line that she says. It's fucking like, come on, love. It's the Olympics.
nah.
Cheer up.
Tells you something's up. I liked it. I was like, yeah, that's
She's so old.
something
She
shifted.
should be grateful for every day she wakes up and doesn't fucking die.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
you leave Doris alone. Doris
No,
is brilliant.
it's useless. And I'm sorry, I don't know how you can call that song creepy. It's
No,
so fucking annoying.
it's not a creepy song. It's just the way that she was singing it. Like it was just, yeah, no, I wasn't a fan of that.
Like a miserable little girl. And it's so annoying because I started watching the confidential, the behind the scenes for this. And
Hmm.
the actress that plays this little girl is lovely. And she's so excited to be on Doctor Who. And she's animated and she's brilliant. And like, how does that translate into this? She's just a
I
blank fucking face. Like, oh my
I've got to
God.
say, I did feel sorry for her because they obviously wanted to show where she was possessed and where she was just talking as herself.
You can't tell
And
the difference.
well, you can because she does that really weird like whisper thing. And I'm sorry, but that didn't work at all.
It didn't, did it? So
No,
there's
it
that.
was just
God.
it was like she kind of had a sore throat. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, and I feel sorry because that's not the actress. That's just the director saying, right now we need you to kind of give like a little bit of a whispery like kind of thing. And I was just like, it doesn't really work. I just wasn't. I wasn't sold by it. You know what I mean? It felt like just poor writing, really. But
Yeah, all poor direction. I think is like
yeah, like poor.
they should have dubbed it, or they should have, they should have, I don't know, done a sound effect, or yeah, it's just awful. But like, go on, see if you can find any other way of redeeming it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty creepy. Something I did like as well is I'm not sure if they did this because it was in the winter or anything like that, but um, they showed how cold it was on the street because they mentioned about it's really cold there. It's like unnaturally cold, and
Yeah.
I like how they had the actors and actresses. Like obviously they must have filmed it during the winter or something like that, and it was just you could see their breath, and I was like, that's clever writing. I like that.
Okay, I will give you that. They mentioned that on Confidential. They were like, "We've fucked up because the only time we've got to film it is in winter. And the Olympics is going to be in the summer. How the fuck do we get around this?" Oh, I know. Let's say it's during the heat. That is. I will give you that. That's a clever
Yeah, no,
workaround. Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was a clever way of doing it, which I really liked. What else did I
But
like
that
about it?
doesn't talk to the episode. That talks to, the innovation behind the crew and the writers and stuff. That's not a benefit for this episode. That's a behind the scenes thing.
Yeah, no, I kind of see that, but yeah, I like that. I thought that was clever writing. Um, I'm my final point I want to make towards the end of the episode because I think it's going to be a big talking point. So we'll
Okay.
leave it to
Okay.
the end of the episode. But
All right.
should we just quickly run through kind of what thoughts and that were as normally chronologically as we do.
What's the point? No one's going to listen to this episode because it's shit. But yes, far away.
Oh, you lie, you lie. So, where are we? So, oh yeah, by the way, how quick can the Doctor run?
I don't. Oh yeah, fucking Batman Doctor at the beginning. Yeah.
Literally, wouldn't it? He's twice now. I'm running two theories. The first one is the Doctor is Batman, as
Yep.
shown in the Lost Child. No, what was it? The Doctor Dances. That one.
Oh yes, yes. I forgot about that.
Where he
Yes.
just appears in like a kind of, in a room that everybody's watching the corners. And the
Yep.
second one is he just appeared down the street. Like it cuts the rows, it cuts back, and he's like literally down the end of the street. He's done like 200 meters a second. So maybe the Doctor was practicing for the Olympics. That's why he got invited to hold the torch.
Oh, okay, that's a good theory. Yeah, yeah. I like the idea of like you cut to him and he's panting and he's sweating and he's like, "Fuck me, I've never run so fucking fast in my life."
Yeah. That was quite interesting. And the second theory I'm running as well is the Doctor is actually a dog.
Oh yes, this has come up quite a few times.
Yeah, because he likes licking things.
He does, yeah. And even the way he's sort of sniffing around in this episode, or tingling
Yep.
around, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, no, he was sniffing around, and I mean, look, don't get me wrong, it's you watch Sherlock and everything like that. Every great detective uses all five of the senses, but it just it was just really weird. It was just they were like, yeah, the doctor can just has a really good sense of smell. So okay, fair enough. Didn't have that one.
Just before
Also,
we go
go
on,
on.
even before all of this bit, to show how bad it's he parks the TARDIS the wrong way round. What does that show?
Oh, I quite like that, to be honest.
What do you mean? It doesn't
Well,
do anything
because
for the story.
no, but it just like at the end of the day, it is still a 3D and like it's a 3D object, yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily determine which way round the thing's been parked.
But it must have a front. Do you know what that would be like? I don't know, parking us. I don't know. It doesn't do anything. It's just a stupid thing to throw in there.
Yeah, but we always park the car the right way, don't we? Because you park the car the right way. But if you was to like I don't know, just magically phase your car in, no, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's going to be the right way.
I suppose it's a hypothetical, but just why include it? But anyway, go on.
Little bit of fun, which I quite liked.
No, not fun, not fun.
I liked it. I thought it was fun. It's just different. It was just like I was sick and
Stupid.
tired of the Doctor every single time just parking the TARDIS the right way, and I'm like, there's no way that you park it right every single time.
All right, all right, fine, fine, fine.
So I like that. I thought that was good. What else did I like about? Oh, sorry. What else did we go? Oh, it was a bit weird where he was like kind of. So he goes up to the like to the front of the house where the kids disappear, and then he's just like kind of I guess sensing the children.
Yeah, exactly. What's this new power that he's got?
He's a Jedi.
He's some sort of, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. You haven't seen the Fast and Furious, have you?
I saw 10.
You sort of said there's one where Vin Diesel goes to a crime scene, and for whatever reason, because he's Vin Diesel, he can like rewind it and he sees everything happen. Like presumably it's a similar sort of power as that, but again, it's like where's this come from? What's going
Yeah.
on?
It's just the special power that he gets. It's just like,
It's
yeah.
just unexplained nonsense, is what it is.
So the Doctor is a Jedi, which I quite like. I think that's an interesting thing to take from it. I feel like that's a quite a different approach, I guess. But
Right.
yeah, so I quite like that. And then oh yeah, completely devastating news that I found out this episode.
Go on.
Doctor doesn't like cats.
Oh, I was a bit upset. I presumed it was a callback to uh New Earth with the cat
Mhm.
nuns, right? Like that's got to be what that's referencing.
I thought that as well, but apparently, obviously not. The Doctor just doesn't like cats, which was really weird because he, again, funny enough, going back to the World War II episode or the episodes,
Oh, he loves
um,
cats, yeah.
he loves cats, yeah, which was really weird. So I wonder what made him change his mind.
Well, he literally changed his mind, to be fair, when he regenerated.
Maybe it was a cat-related injury.
I that cat, gorgeous little cat. Isn't it
Oh,
very convenient that for some random reason it walks into that box to disappear?
yeah, exactly. Rose is just like, wow, this is the best magic trick in the world.
Oh my god, David Blaine's here.
It just made me laugh. It's just
Stupid.
like, and now the cat's gone. I was like, oh, okay. I suppose
Just
we didn't quite have it in the budget to show the cat actually disappearing, so we'll stick it in there and we'll just say, oh, the cat's gone.
well, I don't even know if it's the budget because when all the kids come back at the end,
Mhm.
the instruction is right, jump, and we're just going to get rid of the bit of you taking off. Like it's the worst effect you've ever seen. It's just them sort of falling a foot out of the sky, and presumably they couldn't get the cat to do that, so that's why.
They, they couldn't get the cat to jump, so they just were like, right. Actually, no, that I can actually not attest to that, but where was I? I was somewhere and I was watching like a talk show on like animal like acting with animals and everything like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is you don't lead the animals lead you.
Okay. Okay.
Which sounds really weird, but because animals are unpredictable, you can ask an animal to do something, but at the end of the day, if the animal doesn't want to do that, it's not going to do it. So what they do is like if like so for example, like the two characters are like, oh, and now like the direction is we turn left down the lane, and then suddenly the dog that they're walking turns right, then they'll just roll with it and they'll just go, oh, okay, we'll just change that.
Right. Yeah. 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 Which is, yeah, fair enough.
Which
I
makes
like
sense
that.
rather than trying to like kind of shoot and get the animal to turn the right way and everything like that. They just roll with it, which I think is quite cool. Um, but yeah, just imagine them just like stood there with a cat going, "Can we make the cat jump?"
It is just ridiculous. Like, but anyway, it's a small point that's very annoying, but it is an annoying point nonetheless.
I didn't think it was too bad, but yeah. Can we also talk about the fact that the child has? I can't remember the kid's name. Emma. Emma. What do I think? Emma.
Do you
Was it
know
Emma?
that's a Chloe? Chloe.
Chloe, that's it. Yeah, I don't know why I Emma at the moment, but um, so they obviously confiscate the pens when and again, this is the thing that really winds me up. For some reason, I keep going back to the Doctor dances and everything, but it's the thing that winded me up there was that they didn't tell anybody about what was going on, and then it was like this whole thing could have been avoided had you told anybody that was what was going on.
I know, man. I like. It's just, I think it's supposed to be a metaphor for depression, right? That's what this episode is.
Yeah, because the dad died and everything like that, which I do get, and at the end of the day, it's difficult difficult sometimes to talk and everything. But yeah, it was a strange one.
Just executed awfully, and that whole confiscation of the pen thing, like that mum quite clearly knows that her kid is the problem, right? She draws a
Oh yeah, for
picture
sure.
of a. Oh, let's talk about this. Her drawings, like, they're so shit. And her mum
I
just
mean,
walks in and goes, "Oh, you've drawn Dale." Has she? I don't know. That's a stick man for all I can see.
you
How the
could
fuck do you know it's Dale?
you could tell you don't have kids
But how would
from
you
what I
know that's
heard. Like
Dale?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's kind of like as long as there's some distinct features there. I don't know.
Absolutely shit. But also, like, take the pens away earlier, surely.
Yeah, I did think that. And then they did, and then she had what I made Brad laugh because she pulls off a doll's head and there's just a hidden pen in there. I
Like
think it's
she's
funny,
been
like
storing a stash in jail or something.
genuinely thought it was a hidden shank. I went to Brad, I was like, why she got a fucking shank?
Is she
And
gonna go
then
and shank the mother and take the pens
that's what I
back?
thought. And then Brad was like, mate, it's a pen. And I'm like, oh yeah, look at that.
It's, but like, why was if her mum has never taken pens off her before? Why does she have that stash in the first place? None of it makes any sense. How many pens and pencils do these people have?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you go to your local arts and crafts thing and everything, and you get yourself a good old bumper pack of 64. But yeah, it was a strange one, wasn't it?
It's just insane. Yeah, and then again, we're jumping ahead a little bit, but then there's that bit where Rosie's like, "Right, don't leave her alone," and then
Yeah,
immediately
immediately leaves her
it
alone. Yeah, I
smash
call that one.
cuts to the mum then being in the kitchen. It's like, fuck sake.
Yeah, no, I call that one like a cold. That was
Oh my
yeah,
god, it's painful, man.
yeah, it is funny. It is funny, but yeah, no, that was a strange one. They were just like, oh yeah, just have a hidden pen, and it was hidden in the doll as well. I don't know how she got it in there. Like she must have had to decapitate the doll,
I have no
wedge the pen in
idea.
there, and then like perfectly put it back in.
It's
I mean,
just
yeah, don't get me wrong, it takes great skill to do that. I don't think I could do that, but yeah, it was a strange one to say the least.
but go on.
Yeah, so that was it. I genuinely thought it was the devil again. That was what I thought the Easter egg was again, because when they show the drawing in the wardrobe,
Yep.
I genuinely thought that was the devil. I didn't realize it was her dad.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, I think even from memory, I was like, that's like the devil, or it's like a devil's manifestation of the dad. I've totally forgotten
Hmm.
the whole thing that it's like, it's how she dreams her dad to be, or it's like the dad from the night. That was quite interesting in theory, but shit in execution. Like, you're dealing with bringing your dreams and nightmares to life, and you've got to scarily draw a man in your cupboard. Like, come on, do better.
Yeah, it was. I think the word I'd use to describe it is probably clumsy.
Okay,
It just
okay.
seemed, yeah, I like the idea was there, and I liked the idea. It was like, oh, okay, so her dad's unfortunately passed away. She never met her dad. The only thing she knows of her dad was through her mum, which I quite like that as a kind of a like a talking point kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it seemed straight away because I was like, oh, like, I was like, oh, well, the dad's dead. That's upsetting. That's really sad and everything. And then they just went at a completely different angle. And they were like, oh, yeah, so he was a drinker and he wasn't a very nice person. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's a different angle to take. I thought they would have gone more on the dad was a really nice person, like almost like Rose. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
I,
they
I,
they they
I,
didn't.
yeah, I think it's supposed to be a juxtaposition, but again, it's such a sensitive topic, and it's a metaphor for uh, depression, anxiety,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it. But it's explained away that actually she's not depressed, she's not dealing with trouble, she's been possessed. It undermines everything, doesn't it? Like it totally takes away that this girl was going through a struggle because of the things that happened to her. And it's like, nah, actually, a flower fell in her mouth.
Yeah, and again, that's a strange one. The actual kind of thing. It was just a flower fell in her mouth, which at the end of the day, I suppose it could happen. But at the same time, though, it was just so. Yeah, I wasn't buying it. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh, okay, fair enough. But
I like
yeah,
the
that was
idea that the alien is lonely because it's lost its brother or sister or brothers and sisters, and it's found Chloe, and she's lonely because her mum's closed off after the death. But it's just all so contrived. Like I don't believe it. Maybe it's because it's too alien. Like if they'd have made it a humanoid thing that had possessed her, maybe it would be more relatable. But literally to have this weird sort of spermy flower just leave her mouth, like I don't know, it just missed the mark. Like you said, it just didn't hit right for me.
yeah, it was a strange one. It was a very strange one. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I just yeah. I mean, the whole flower thing itself, I guess, is they were trying to show that actually. Yeah, you know what? Actually, the more I think about this, the more I think you're right about the kind of the metaphors for depression and anxiety and everything. Because I suppose, in essence, the Aeschylus, I think
Isola, some stupid
Aeschylus.
name.
I spelled it out for myself, just trying to kind of make it there. But I suppose in theory that they actually that was, they're showing that it can happen to anyone really, because the mum's depressed because she lost her husband, the kid's depressed because she lost her dad, and the Aeschylus is depressed because it lost his family. Like, so I suppose it's kind of it can happen to anyone kind of thing, which is an important message.
Yeah, and there's probably
But
some
yeah,
symbolism behind it being a flower, and love can bloom or depression can bloom. I don't know. There's something there as well, I'm sure.
something can bloom. Yeah, I
So,
was actually quite surprised that they made it a flower though.
okay, what were you
Well, I just
expecting?
well, the whole thing with Doctor Who is weird and wonderful monsters, and
Yeah.
I suppose there's no discounting that there could be an alien race out there that is a flower, but it was just really weird that we've gone from kind of something which was Peter Kay in a fat suit to a white flower. It just as you said, the juxtaposition was just incredible. It was just such a whiplash. It was just like, oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, it looked pretty good for CGI and everything. I didn't think it looked out of
Okay,
place, but
yeah,
it
I'll
was
give
just
you
really
that. Yeah.
weird that it was just really weird that it was just a flower. I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting it. But what also I wasn't expecting was the Doctor doesn't have manners.
Oh, again, this is all just. Are you going to talk about the honey?
Well, I thought it was marmalade, but yeah,
Oh, marmalade, honey. Same thing. Fucking weird. Why is he doing that?
I couldn't work that one out either.
He's
Couldn't work
been
that
in.
one out.
We've seen him in Jackie's house. We've seen him. Like he knows what a domestic family is, and he's scooping some form of jam out of a jar with his finger. Like what?
Yeah, yeah, couldn't get that.
Bizarre. But on a similar sort of thing, I think where I completely zoned out in this episode, where I think this child just needs to fucking be shot in the face. The character, not the actor, by the way. She fucking takes a swig of milk from the bottle out of the fridge. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I do that because I'm the only one that drinks the milk in the house, so I can do that. I'm not sharing the milk,
Fair. It's your
but
bottle of milk.
I'd never do that around my parents because everyone else was drinking the milk, and that's just gross.
Fucking murder that little brat. Honestly, that's wanted to
I mean,
vom when I saw that.
she was possessed. In fairness,
I don't give a fuck. Chop her head off. Do
oh
something.
dear.
If you needed more of an excuse, like I honestly, if someone had stolen milk from my fridge and been swinging it for the bottle, I would murder them. I would then be relieved if I found out they were possessed because I could blame it on that. The
You could
mum
blame it
has
on the
a
possession.
exactly. The mum's got a get out of jail free card there. Do you know what I mean? Fucking
Yeah,
oh my god, just weird. And okay, again, weird, just oddity for the sake of oddity. What's with the Star Trek hand thing? Why is this being included now?
yeah. I don't understand that. It was just a
Are they
thing they did, apparently.
trying to say only aliens can do it? Because I guess you don't see anybody else do it in the episode. Is that? And then you can imagine all the kids at home trying to do it. Was it supposed to be like a little viral thing before things went viral? I don't know.
I don't know. I can do it though. Maybe I'm an alien.
I can do it, but I never want to do it again because it's going to remind me of this little fucking brat and gobby gob doctor. Oh, such a bad
Yeah, I'll tell you what's like. I wish they would stop doing though.
what?
Putting the Doctor in fake danger.
Okay.
It is something that gets on my tits quite a bit. It's just like, right, the Doctor, and it's like, oh my God, the Doctor's disappeared. He's on a bit of paper. What's Rose gonna do now? He's gone forever. It's like, well, the episode, like the whole series is literally called Doctor Who. They're not gonna kill him off. Like, if they did, that would be a TV series suicide. Like,
Yeah.
you just can't. I don't like. For me, it would have been better to have Rose in there because, and no offense to Rose, because I think Billie Piper's a great actress, but Rose is expendable.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Doctor isn't because it's quite literally called Doctor Who.
Yeah. No,
So
I totally
I
agree
feel
with
like
you.
I mean I get why they did it because for Rose to save the day and everything, which I like, but I just maybe just have the Doctor trapped somewhere or something like that. Maybe he was caught in the crowd in the stadium and it was up to Rose or I don't know, but yeah, I just don't like they've done it a couple of times this season, and I'm just like, why do that?
No, I completely agree with you, mate. There is a technical literary term for it, which is where the audience doesn't expect the main character to die or perish or be in trouble. So
Hmm.
it's like you said, it's false suspense. Like, but Doctor Who is the perfect thing to get around that because you have so many secondary characters. Not even the companions. You have the ones removed. Like you've got this immense cast. Utilize it. Have one of them trapped. Like you said, it's a real issue. I think they do address it in later seasons. It does stop happening as
Mm.
often, but yeah, like it. We learn this shit in GCSE. You don't put your protagonist where you know he's going to survive in danger because it negates any tension, any suspense,
Yeah,
and yeah, the Doctor again. The drawing doesn't look anything like the Doctor. It's just got a long brown coat on. But question for you:
I thought it did.
it fucking didn't. But
Right, if you hold on, if you'd have been shown that picture and
yeah,
and someone had gone to you, who's that? You'd have gone David Tennant.
yes. But if you'd have showed that picture to somebody that doesn't know who David Tennant is, dressed
Yeah,
up five brown-haired men in that exact same outfit, you're never picking David Tennant, or it would be just pure luck. Do you know what I mean?
that is true, but that kind of again, it's the distinguished, kind of the distinguishing feature. David Tennant was wearing a long brown coat at the time.
She also, anyway, move along, move along.
Moving along, I think because I know Brad will be very, very upset if I don't mention this in his absence.
Come
Brad's favourite character from Doctor Who was
on.
the council estate guy, the council worker, the road worker.
Oh my god. I,
Honest to God, nearly said the guy's like kind of speech. He says in the council van and the council thing. Nearly said it word for word. I was actually impressed. I was like, wow, that's incredible.
not a bad character the first time round, but it wears thin quite quickly.
I don't know. It kind of reminds. If there was a council worker that kind of some kind of roadman or something, not roadman. That's probably the wrong term. Um, but if there was some kind of construction worker or something, I'd probably expect them to be similar to that in that situation where people are disappearing because they're being drawn.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, he is actually he's all right, and I do like the bit where he's going, "You've taken a council. I'm reporting you to the
To the
council."
council. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love it.
fair
I think
enough.
it's really.
Fair enough. All right,
I think
I'll
that
give
is
you
good.
that.
That
He's not a bad side character. Bring him back.
yeah, no, for sure. If he come back, I'd be happy. But yeah. So
Can we
let's
backtrack
go.
2 seconds to the doctor in the
Go on.
picture again?
Okay, okay.
Why wouldn't she draw Rose as well?
That's a very good point.
She's
I
drawing
don't know.
cats. She's drawing Dale. Why not just get
Kids
Rose in there as well? Do you know what I mean?
because of the plot.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's plot armor. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Because of the plot. I don't know. Maybe she liked Rose.
Doesn't make any sense. What she drew the TARDIS, but she didn't draw Rose.
Yeah, no, because Rose was there when they went back to the TARDIS, weren't they?
And Rose was there in the house. Like Rose is there the entire time.
Yeah, that is a
Anyway,
strange one, isn't it? No, that
it
is a
doesn't
strange one.
doesn't make any sense. It's a stupid episode.
What I didn't, yeah, what I also didn't understand as well is that they kind of they made a point when early in the episode where Rose goes into the garage. There's a garage, the door's banging, and then
Yeah.
they have the scribble. I guess you'd call it.
I thought this is what you wanted to save until the end of the episode. Are we going to talk about
No,
this
no,
scribble monster now?
this scribble monster. It did remind me of SpongeBob, to be honest. It was you ever see the episode of SpongeBob
I
where they
do. I
find the
know
magic
exactly.
pencil?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they get the evil SpongeBob, and they're just like he's just like drawing things. I was like, oh, it's like
It's
that.
absolutely. It's the most stupid thing you've ever seen on a telly, isn't it?
What? I think it's brilliant. I'd love a
Oh,
monster that you could draw.
mate.
He comes to life, like
Yeah. But why is that the only thing that, like, it's so. She gets attacked by a scribble. This is a sentence that we're actually saying out loud. Rose gets attacked by a scribble.
yeah, that was bouncing around. So technically, it's like a ball, isn't it? Really?
But it's a scribble. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did the scribble manifest in that garage?
Not a clue.
It doesn't make any sense. Why is
No,
that
I
the
can't
only
answer
thing
that.
that does manifest?
The dad does.
Okay, that does. When the doctor is in the picture and he presumably draws from inside the picture the Olympic torch,
Hmm.
why doesn't A, either another Olympic torch manifest itself, or B, the Olympic torch get pulled into that picture?
That yeah, I mean that's a fair point actually.
So many plots. Okay, when they stop the weird squirrel monster and he's holding it and he says it's graphite, it's a pencil lead,
Yeah,
and he just starts rubbing it out. You can't
yeah.
rub out the inside of a pencil. That's not how graphite works.
Well, mm, well, because the whole reason that pencil is erasable is because it is literally transferring little bits of graphite onto the paper,
But
and
he's
then the
got like
rubber rubs it away.
a, a thick, clearly inside. It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid.
I could see the rubbing out part. The rubbing out part could work.
I don't think you couldn't if you were to scrape away the wood of a pencil and then try
Hmm.
rubbing that graphite. It's not going to disappear.
It would eventually.
Okay, cut the fuck off.
It would eventually, though. That's it. Why do you think you have to sharpen a pencil?
Move it on.
Oh, got you hook, line, and sinker.
Debunked. Move it on.
And on that note, talking about erasing things and everything, I was very disappointed we didn't see the like, drawing of the dad come to life.
Yes, me
We
too.
heard it, but we didn't see it. And the only thing I could think of is they had about enough for a cup of coffee left in the budget for this episode, and they went, "Yeah, we'll just we'll just get the thing like there."
I also think it's the less is more approach, which works sometimes.
Hold
It's
on a
worked in
minute.
Doctor
Hold on
Who
a minute.
before.
The guest has just turned up in my fucking house.
Oh, has Bradley Fuller just arrived?
Yeah, the guest has turned up in my house. Look at that.
We can't actually hear on this end, but it's very exciting for listeners.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, no, I just I was a bit disappointed that we didn't actually see the dad's manifest there, and I don't know why they were so scared of him either. It's only a drawing. What's it gonna do?
Exactly.
Push up against them?
Exactly.
Right.
And they defeated him with the power of song.
Yeah, that was a strange. Well, no, because I suppose that the drawing came from a manifestation of the depression and the anxiety and the kind of the fear of not knowing and everything. So them two singing, they kind of pull the good energy together,
They
positive mental
cure
vibes.
depression. Guys, to anyone listening that's going through a tough time, just sing this Kookaburra song and pull your socks up. Don't be so
Please don't do that.
ridiculous.
Please seek professional advice. Please do not take anything there. But yeah, no, I don't know. It was a strange ending. It was a strange ending, but I feel like there is something that I need to speak about.
Go
Something
on.
that I clocked in the episode that just made me go, wait, hold on, what? The Doctor was once a dad.
Ah, yeah, okay.
I have so many questions. One, the Doctor fucks. Incredible. Two, where is the kid now? Three,
Yeah.
who's the mum?
Or who was the dad? So,
Wait, what?
well, the very first episode of Doctor Who, it's the Doctor and his companion, and his companion is his granddaughter. So, from literally the very first episode, we've known he's got we know he's got a family.
Mhm.
Doctor Fox, of course he does. He's been a good-looking man in every carnation we've seen him, and I'd have a go on Jodie Whittaker. Are you telling me you wouldn't?
I don't know. Well, yeah, but I mean, it just, I don't know. I just always thought he'd be like a Jedi. You know what I mean? Like the kind of
Celibate.
the yeah, like the kind of the whole thing that screwed up the Jedi Order with Anakin. Getting a little bit of a leg over.
Well, there's no other Time Lords about JP. We don't know why that is yet.
Well, apparently he didn't do a good enough job of
Because the Doctor
fucking.
fucks.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. He is. I go back to my point of him being a Jedi. He is Anakin Skywalker. Oh,
Oh
imagine
dear.
that. He's just completely rewritten like the Time Lord history to make him like be like the sole survivor, that he's the good guy. Really, he was the cause of everything.
Right, mate, you may be spoiling it for yourself.
Am I?
Speaking of spoiling it for yourself, did you pick up on any Easter egg?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right, I can't lie. I had a little bit of help from the next time trailer.
Oh no.
Right, and I've got to blame Bradley Fuller for this one. I'm fully aware he's just come on the room. And Brad goes to me, he goes, "You gonna watch the next time trailer?" I said, "No, I don't think so." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know if you should or not." So I was like, "Oh, go then, we'll watch it." And it is blindingly obvious that it is Torchwood. Blindingly obvious it's Torchwood. Because I even picked up on it in an episode as well and went, "Ah, they mentioned Torchwood."
I think you did in a couple of episodes, to
I
be
did
fair.
in
Yeah.
Tooth and Claw. In Tooth and Claw, she says, "Oh yeah, this is the Torchwood estate," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's Torchwood."
So yeah, that's finally revealed. I love that we went into this season. You weren't watching the next time trailers for the
I think
first
I've done it
half,
every time.
where there's no for the first half you were very good, and now it's the second half, and you've ruined the fucking finale
I
for God's
know,
sake.
but I want to know, man. I want to know.
Before we jump into the next time,
Mm.
there's one sort of little scene when the Doctor and Rose reunite, and he's eating his ball bearing cakes, and it's all very similar to the end of The Idiot's Lantern, which is another shit episode. Um, and then they have their little conversation about there's something in the air.
What does that mean?
Well, I wanted to ask you what you thought it meant.
Oh, I've got no idea. I just thought it was just kind of a comment on the joyous occasion.
You didn't think that they're never going to split us up, never ever, never say never ever, isn't a potential foreshadowing?
Well, I'm expecting her to die at some point, which is going to be really upsetting. But yeah,
No, I thought a little bit on the nose, is all I'm going to say.
yeah. I genuinely think she's going to die. I'm going to be really upset if she does, because I really like Rose, and I can't imagine the worst thing is I can't imagine another companion apart from Rose.
Yeah, well, none of us could at the time, you know. This is what it does to you. I mean, just running back through, there are some things I like in this episode. I like that Rose is the first to realize there's something wrong again. I think that's been quite
Yeah,
consistent
yeah,
with their
with the missing
character.
posters. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I like the Doctor's outfit in this. I quite like his little granddad collar underneath the suit rather than going suit and tie. The sort of more chilled back look. I like that.
You know what? I didn't even notice it.
Did you know? No.
I didn't even clock. I was just like, that's the Doctor in his big brown coat.
Um, it's a racist street, right? So when they're all gathered in their
Oh
circle,
yeah, that
did you?
was
There's
wow. Karen was going hard there.
well, there's quite clearly two people working from the council, and yet Doris decides to go. Or I don't even know if it was Doris. I think you're right. I think it was a younger woman
No,
with short hair,
it was
wasn't it?
it was yeah, it was the one with the short hair. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
she
She was
goes,
just like, wow.
"Why don't we start with him?" Points at the black council van man and just completely ignores the white council man behind him. I'm like, oh god, this is London in 2012, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was that was bad to be honest. I'm genuinely surprised that that got through. Like,
Yeah, I know. The finger on lips thing is the most ridiculous thing in the world. If anybody ever told me to put my finger on my lips again, I would tell them to jog right the fuck on.
he'd actually break the finger.
Oh, I would break their finger, yeah. Attack of the Scribble, ridiculous. The first 16 minutes of this episode, JP, is just them walking up and down a street. Stupid. Stupid, stupid,
Well,
stupid. Um, we'll breeze over it on this because it doesn't really add anything. Glasses. He wears them whilst he's looking at the pictures on the walls and all the drawings and all that sort of stuff, but in a crowd of people. So we won't dwell on it too much. We'll just breeze over it. Do with that what you will.
mhm.
Next week, we do get some answers on glasses, is all I'm going to say.
Oh, do we? Okay.
In the exorcism scene, as it was described behind the scenes, he mentions that he parlays with the shadow proclamation. Did you pick that up?
Yes, yeah. That's how he kind of initiates contact, isn't it? Really?
Keep an eye out for more mentions of that, JP. All
Okay.
I'm going to say. Um, the electric things, you throw them up, they make the weird noise. Why isn't the torch taken into the picture? They say he was struck by lightning. That's it. My only other thing that I think would have made this episode better is you
Mhm.
have Doris be either the mum or the daughter from the coronation episode. And you have her, she's like, I can't believe this is
Oh,
happening again. Like, they want the crowds. It must be. Would that not have made a lot more sense?
I mean, it could have done because didn't you say it was filmed on the same street or something?
Filmed on the same street or in the same area or around the same time or something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that could have made sense. You know, you live there all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that would have been a nice little way to tie two completely shit episodes together.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I'll give you that. That would have been quite a good idea.
But I think that wraps up this piece of steaming, festering, fucking nonsense. Love it or hate it, JP?
I love it. I wouldn't. Well,
Fuck
yeah.
off. You
Look,
like it more than you dislike it. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
yeah, agreed.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, I'd put it this way: it was a lot better than the Concrete Glory Hole.
Oh, mate, I can't believe you genuinely think that. Please
You're
stop
just
watching
upset
these
because they didn't
episodes
use.
with Brad.
You're just upset because they didn't use your drawings for the thing, aren't you? That's
I
actually what you're really upset about. You got some kind of event. You actually applied to be Chloe, and they shot you down in flames, and they went, "No, you're not good enough at drawing," and that's why you don't like this episode of
It was a bloody diversity hire, and I stand by it to this day.
it. Yeah, we've cracked it. That is exactly why Josh doesn't like this episode because he was rejected as the child actor, and on that serious and disappointing note, no.
I'm gonna absolutely say I fucking hate this episode. It is the worst of Doctor Who. It's incoherent. It doesn't make sense. It's set in the future for no particular reason. It feels small, even though it's got all these different locations. The acting is terrible. The story is terrible. The pacing is awful. The villain is non existent. Awful. Piece of shit. Disgusting. Get out of this. Honestly, and this is mad. I can't believe I'm saying this. Skip this episode. Just skip it. Skip this episode of the podcast. Skip this episode of the series. Skip anything that any. Oh, by the way, though, it's nice seeing the Prime Minister's assistant from Love Actually.
Is this a good time or a bad time to tell you I've never seen Love Actually?
What? What?
Yeah, as Brendan's pointing out, I have seen parts of it. It was on the TV the other day as we were skipping through.
You've never seen the best Christmas film of all time.
I've seen the Muppets Christmas Carol. You leave me alone.
Overrated.
No.
Overrated.
Nope. Muppets Christmas Carol is where it's at.
Anyway, I'm getting tired. JP, do you want to talk about the next time trailer, which you shouldn't have watched, but you did?
I know, but it just looked too good. I want to know. I'm keen to know what's going on. Torchwood. And
Torchwood.
Torchwood. More Torchwood.
And
More
ghosts?
Torchwood? Some kind of ghosts? Probably from Torchwood.
I can't remember what else is revealed in this trailer.
They could have just put the word Torchwood up for the next time thing and just had the word Torchwood. And that would have been it. And it'd just been like, yeah, got the same man. No, there's some kind of ghost people or something that's going around. Probably the ghosts of Christmas passes or something like that. And
Well, we've timed it well, our Christmas special.
oh, look at that. See, it's almost like we planned it, just like the Halloween special.
Yeah, so next week is the finale. We'll obviously do the two-parter in one episode. We'll probably do a little bonus episode to run through this season. JP, I want to ask you, whilst you're not under the influence of Brad, season 2 compared to season 1, which do you prefer?
Oh, good question. I think I'm actually going to go with season 2.
Wow.
Just because
Wow.
I think that season 2 just had better episodes. It also had worse episodes.
How can you say
No,
that's
it,
true?
I will say it also had worse episodes as well, because there was two. Season 1 I didn't have any hate hits, but season 2 I had 2 hate hits.
Yeah.
But the better episodes were better, if that makes sense.
Wow.
The peaks were higher, but there were a few little troughs.
Interesting. I'll ask you again without the influence of Brad. Based on their one season each, who's the
Mhm.
better Doctor?
You're gonna hate me for saying this, but I quite like David Tennant.
Do you know
I'm not
I'm
saying that.
go on.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Christopher Eccleston was a bad Doctor, but I just feel like David Tennant's just got it a little bit more. He almost seems like he wants to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that is you've hit the nail on the head there. Yeah, I think you can see a lot more enthusiasm coming from David Tennant. So I will allow that fact. Not I will allow that opinion.
I'm
I've
guessing
gone
for you,
off.
you're going to say season 1 for out of season 1 and 2. You're going to say season 1, yeah?
I I season 1 feels more dated than this season. I think that's a big thing.
hmm
I think
hmm
season 1 feels a lot more mid noughties than this does. But I think you cannot deny this has easily three of the worst episodes of all of Doctor Who. This is the weakest season with some amazing gems. Like it's a really strange thing. Based on this series alone, if you look at the good episodes and you look at the bad episodes, if you
hmm
were a producer of the show, basing on the quality of season 2, would you give it another season?
What is in season 2 going into season 3? Yeah.
Let's say season 2 was the first season, though. You started off, so you've got these extreme lows and these extreme highs. Do you think like Doctor Who would have continued if it hadn't have had such a solid, you agree that the episodes aren't as good, but a solid series that came before it? Or if it didn't have the Doctor Who title attached to it, if this was just a show, do you think this is good enough to warrant the 10 plus seasons that have come afterwards?
I think so. There's potential there.
Interesting.
Yeah. No,
Interesting.
there is potential there. That is the thing. It's just, um, because you got to look at it. All right, no season is going to be perfect. There's always going to be some kind of flaws in a season, which is fair enough. But it's the reason why I prefer season 2 to season 1 is the peaks were a lot higher than the kind of the how low the troughs were. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So yeah, no, I think if I was if season 2 was season 1 and you were talking about renewing it, I for sure you'd be renewing it.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that wraps us up for this week. Thank you very much, JP, for coming. Will our guest
Mon pleasure.
return next week? We're not sure. But yeah, join us next week, the finale. Thanks for listening. Thanks for engaging. Thanks for continuing to be a great community. And anything to ask, JP?
No, I think that's it. So on to the finale next week.
On to the finale. Yeah, 2
On to the
episodes left,
finale.
but we'll do it
Wow,
as one.
two seasons. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun, eh?
Doesn't it, just to be fair? Yeah, that's mad, actually. 2 seasons
Two
finished.
seasons.
Well, Christmas special we've got to do, so then it's the end of the series. But on
There you
that
go.
note, goodbye, chaps.
Yeah, thank you as always, guys. Really appreciate it. And we will catch you on the flippity flop next week.
Adios.